Jamal, what's going on? Good to see you. We're live, ladies and gentlemen, with Jamal James, welterweight
What's
division.
going on, yo?
How are you, man? Good to see you.
You too,
Ev-
man. You too.
Everything good? How was the new
Everything's
year?
good, man. No complaints.
Good, good, good. So, obviously, man, welterweight division has always been uh, one of the most lucrative and, you know, sought out divisions, and that's where you're at, man. How long can you keep making that weight? And do you foresee yourself finishing your career out in that division?
Yeah, my weight's still good. Uh, I'm trying to, obviously get a title here again and see how long I can stay in it. But I might go up depending on, what the career is doing and what it's looking like. But right now, I'm still able to make it fine. And I've just been in the gym, man, and been in the lab trying to sharpen up and perfect some stuff.
Man, I'm gonna play matchmaker at 54. I think with your height, you and Fondora, you got the same height, same reach and length. Have you considered Fondora as a potential opponent? He is coming off that loss to Mendoza.
Brian Mendoza.
Yeah, now I ain't really thought about him. But if that's what the people want to see, and then I'm down for it. I'm down for whatever.
Champ, did you cut the hair?
Yeah, cut the hair, man. I'm on my winter shave on the top and grow the beard out type of deal.
Okay, okay. That's new though, right? What was that for the new year?
Yeah, nah, yeah, just a little something new. Switch it up a
Okay.
little bit.
Okay, okay. So
You,
I
you,
wanted
you inspired me.
to Yo, Jay-Z inspired me, man. Crop to the Caesar. But listen, you've been doing your thing in your hometown for a while, and I feel like the research I did shows that when you and Morel were on the card together, you guys sold it out and sold the most tickets. You have to feel proud because you were the first to bring boxing back to Minnesota. Um, what's your thoughts on the landscape and how it's been able to grow since we first start seeing you and Caleb Truax, and now it's really, you guys
Morel now
now you got, fights there, you know,
on a regular basis.
on a regular basis.
Yeah, man, no, it's super dope. I'm like, I feel extremely honored and blessed to be one of those dudes that actually brought boxing to Minnesota like that. You know what I mean? Because now it's almost like a hub for boxing. You can see, title matches right here in Minnesota, down there at the Armory. And before, man, it was just like nothing. You know what I mean? I mean, it wasn't nothing, but like you had to go out to the sticks for some pro fights. Not a lot of people were showing up like that. And, we was kind of known as the city or the state where cats would bring they fighters to build their fighters. And now, it's more of like a boxing town now. Anytime there's fights at the Armory, people show up. You know what I mean? And with these long, I be trying to tell people, man, with these long winters we got up here, people just be looking for a reason to go out. It's not like cats can go to the club every weekend and stuff. It's too cold, man. Cats be looking for stuff to do.
Where's your mindset at? Are you already thinking life after boxing, or are you still thinking, boxing as the main thing in your life?
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm going for broke in my boxing career, but I know that's with the understanding that this is it's creeping up now. You know what I mean? I still feel very good. I still feel strong. After my last fight, I had to do a couple checkups and stuff because I noticed I was dealing with some weird cardiovascular stuff, and I found out what was going on. So now that's very strong and healthy. Um, so now I'm just focused on really you know securing the bag and maximizing everything I can get from the rest of my boxing career. And I'm just listening to my body a lot more. You know what I mean? So, God willing, I still got a few more years in me and everything goes good and I'll be able to bow gracefully. But, if there's a fight or something that I feel like, all right, this is getting too much or, these injuries is taking too long to heal up, then, I just have to talk to my family and my team and see what we're thinking. But for right now, I'm feeling good and I'm ready to go.
So is the cardiovascular issue the reason for the inactivity last year?
Partly a little bit. I think that after I had that loss in Vegas, they sat me down for a second, and I took a little bit of time off, had to think about what was going on, and then uh, got
C-
back
Can
training
I
with some.
interject there? Because you said it two different ways. You said they sat you down and you took time off. So which one was it? Was it a
When
combination
I
of
say they
both?
when I say they sat me down, I mean I got my family in my corner, so
Oh,
like they sat me down, talked to me, but we talk, Al Heyman and them, whatever we want to do, they be looking out. So I just kind of sat down with my family, took a little break, and then we got back to work, and I was feeling good. And then in the fight back, I was I was I'm usually a high output punch kind of fighter, and I really don't feel fatigue or nothing start to set in until like seventh or eighth round, and it just set in a little quicker than I was used to. So I had to adjust, and box and adjust my style a little bit. So after that fight is when I kind of did, went to some specialists, cardiovascular system, and looked at my lungs and stuff and figured out what was going on. And
what did they
then,
say the issue was?
well, I messed around and caught COVID, man, like 3 times, and they
Mm.
said that because of that, it kind of like onset asthma, like not asthma where I got to walk around with an inhaler, but like athletic asthma and stuff like that. And uh, they gave me, just this Advair stuff I take once in the morning, once at night, and I just had to do that until it ran out. And then I just been working on, some different breathing techniques, and I've been feeling like way better, 100. You know what I mean? I've been doing a lot of rounds in the gym and just been back on it because I like to show out when I go out there. I don't like to. Every time I fight, I try to look better than my last fight. You know what I mean? And if I don't feel like I could up it, then I feel like then we need to start thinking about what we about to do. You know what I mean? So. Uh, I really had to figure out what was going on, but I got that figured out, and now it's time to get back in there, man.
What were your thoughts when you got the phone call and they said it's Alberto Palmera, or was it three names? Because we do hear, you guys usually get three names, or
To
were
pick
you,
from.
yeah, to pick from, or did you only get Palmera? And what were your thoughts initially?
I'll be honest, man. I ain't get no call for anybody asking me if I wanted to pull back. You talking about way back, like some years back?
No,
That
I'm
was
no,
talking
just a
no.
about
fight.
Your last
Palmera,
fight.
your last fight, because you
Oh,
you
I'm
were
tripping, man.
out.
I'm thinking of this other fighter. I'm tripping. My fault.
You were out for the
Yeah, they
Butaye
gave me they
fight
gave
for a
me they gave
while.
me they gave me his name and they gave me one other cat's name. And I was like, no, let's fight Paul Meta.
Who was the other guy? Because I feel like Palmera was a tough fight back.
Exactly.
90 seconds.
Um,
Excuse me.
you got to forgive me. I can't remember what the other dude's name was, but I knew Palmetto. I knew Palmetto was gonna come to fight, and I thought he would have been a good test back for me. Um, so yeah, we chose Palmetto, and we know he was coming in for broke. And for me, I'm always trying to look at the top. I'm not in it just to say like, yeah, I used to do this. It was cool. Like I'm trying to make whatever name I can, and so when I leave, people be like, oh, he ain't no punk fighter. He wasn't like super choosy. You know what I mean? He was fighting real dudes. So that's why I kind of picked Palmetta, and he came to fight.
He did. But he was a southpaw, and obviously you fought. I think it was DeMarco, but
Hmm.
that was a while back. Did picking Palmetta and knowing he was a southpaw, was there any, I guess, hesitance because of the southpaw, or was it like, it is what it is?
No, it is what it is, man. Spence'S is a southpaw. Crawford is southpaw. Or he can switch a little bit, but he was more dominantly southpaw. So if I'm talking about fighting the best cats, then I can't be only fighting the dudes I feel comfortable with. I got to fight whoever. So uh, yeah, because I think the other dude, I'm pretty sure the other dude that I wish I could remember his name, but the other dude they sent me, he wasn't southpaw. But Palmetto just seemed like the better choice as far as the name, and I knew I felt like I had the tools to outbox him and beat him, but I knew he was going. He wasn't coming to play.
Do you feel how do you feel that the WBA has not ranked you in this last convention, and you do have that win over Palmetto, who was on a huge win streak, probably like 10 fights straight, beat Boca Chica. Um, yeah, I mean, and you were a champ in that division. Which you were the interim or the regular?
No, I was a regular champ. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'll
mean,
be
you
I'll be honest, man. Sometimes I can't make sense of how they do these rankings a lot of times, man. And I understand, there's politics in it and stuff, but like, at some point you gotta halt the politics and whoever's showing out and winning the fights, and you got to rank them up there. You know what I mean? So I don't know. In my mind, I try to keep things very simplistic. At the end of the day, if I go in there and I keep winning, then they got to put me up there, and that's been my whole philosophy. Because if I'm trying to play the ranking game, then I'm gonna be mad every time because there'll be names sometimes, man, that pop up on there, and a cat only have like 5 or 6 fights and never even heard of him. He might be huge from where he's from. He might have had a huge uh, amateur career or whatever else, but how you jump up so high as soon as you turn pro in the rankings like that, and you ain't really beat no names or nothing like that happens often. So
Jamal, I have a question for you because we
yeah,
pulled up the rankings the other day and the name popped up that not just we ain't never seen, we ain't never heard of. Bro, I'm gonna be honest, we ain't even know how to pronounce it. So, because the name is in all of the sanctioning bodies in your division, I'm gonna give you the name, see if you've heard of it.
all right,
Jin Sasaki.
never heard of it.
So yeah,
Never.
this guy's ranked in the top 15 of every sanctioning
but
body.
he's highly ranked. He's 8 in the WBO,
He's 6 in the IBF,
11 in the WBC.
and 7 in the WBA.
He's balling right
Again,
now.
again, to my point, I don't know how they doing these rankings, man. I don't know.
N-
I know cats is fighting. Some cats are coming from different countries and stuff, so maybe they the baddest in their country, and I just don't know how you rank that in your organization, and I just don't know. I just don't get it.
My next
So
question to you is: have you ever, either individually or a direct member of your team, gone to the conventions on your behalf?
Any
uh
sanctioning body convention.
not to my knowledge.
Yeah, that's very
I feel like
important.
yeah, I feel like that's important, man. Because when we went, it was a guy in the heavyweight division, and like, yo, his manager just like said some shit. I ain't never heard of the guy, never seen him fight. His highlights ain't even look
Well, we,
good.
we, we, we got to see him fight in the future. The
After
person
after
he's
the
talking
fact,
about is Zan Kazabuski, who eventually disqualified himself with the F.A. Ajagba fight. But, there was even some pullback. There was someone on the committee, the WBC committee, that was like, yo, he doesn't deserve to jump over Oda Valeen. Oda Valeen beat Dominic Brazil. He's been off since that win, but his win is greater than Kazabuski's win. But because Odo didn't have anyone there to represent him and Kazabuski's manager was there, they granted
they just
his
let it
appeal
happen.
and he
It's,
took Odo's spot and he got the fight with a Jogba. So I'm sure if someone would have been there for you saying, hey, don't forget Jamal just for Alberto Palmera, you would have got ranked. But you are ranked by the IBF, number
yeah.
13. 1 and 2 is vacant. Technically, if Boots wanted to, he could offer you a shot because you're in the top 15. Do you feel ready for a title shot versus Jerron Boots Ennis after one fight back, or do you need a few more fights?
My whole philosophy, man, is if the opportunity's presented and I got the time to train for it, then I'm gonna take it. You know what I mean? Then I'm gonna take it because you can't pass up opportunities like that. Talking about, well, hold on, let me get ready real quick. Let me do this. And like, yo, the opportunity is here. That's why I stay training. You know what I mean? So I stay in the gym. I ain't going 100, but I stay in the gym, stay ready. So if we get an opportunity like that, and they like, you got a month and a half, 2 months, then I'm already in shape. Now we just turning it up. You know what I mean? So that would be dope. Um, if I could have it, I would like to obviously get back in the ring and kind of measure myself one more time before I like call any of that type of big name like that or any type of big title
For
fight like that
sure.
out. But if they give me the opportunity, then I'm not gonna sit here
And turn it down.
and turn it down. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? This is
I got
because then
one
they just
for
gonna
you though.
yeah.
I guess the bridge to that fight, a fun fight. What do you think about Cody Crowley from Canada? I think that your guys' style, like you said, you got high
Yeah.
output. He throws about 1,000 punches per round. The knockout ratio is pretty similar. Would you consider that? The issue would be him wanting to say yes to you because he's so highly ranked in a few sanctioning
Right.
bodies. He's like number
One
one,
in one in the BC and two in the WBO, three in the IBF.
but he hasn't fought in forever himself. Maybe if they offer it to him, he says yes. Do you like that fight for you? What's
Most
your thoughts
definite.
of him as a fighter?
Yeah, most definite. Yeah, yeah. Because Crawley, Crawley fought some cats, like you said, man. He got a high punch output. I think he's upset some people. You know what I mean? And if I'm talking about being the best, he like right up under there, right? So that would be dope. I would definitely take that fight.
I hear from his trainer that he is a draw in Canada. Have you ever fought in Canada, amateurs or pros? Would you consider that, or because Minnesota's, you guys got that popping now? Does it make more sense to just stay there and go there and do it there?
I think whatever makes sense on the business side, to be honest. You know what I mean? Obviously, I love fighting in my hometown, as I'm sure he does. So it really was just gonna come down to what makes sense for business. You know what I'm saying? To be very blunt, what's the bag looking like? Is it
Word.
big over here? Is it big over here? You know what I'm saying? For us, and what does the compromise look like? You know what I'm saying? So to me, as long as it makes sense business wise, and the if it is in Canada or whatever else, we just got the right, a diverse set of judges and a referee. So I don't feel like I got to be fighting against the judges and shit like that. Because if I fight in Canada, I'll be fighting against his fans, obviously. But if he fights in Minnesota, he'll be fighting against mine just the same. So as long as the judges and the referee are neutral ground, and wherever is whatever's clever.
Did you see Tiafimo and Terrence Crawford going out on social media? You don't look like a guy that pays attention to Twitter, so if you need an update, I can fill you in. But did you see the back and forth between the two champs? Shit, he froze.
Yeah, got a call.
Damn it. While that freeze, I felt like he was focusing on everything I was saying and
Word,
shit.
word.
Yo.
Man,
Hey, at least
hopefully
he said he'll
able to-
take boots with a tune-up. I love the Cody Crowley fight for him. They give him that
you
Cody.
funny. You talking about 1,000 punches around.
Yeah, and I looked up his last fight because somebody else tried to act like you, and it was 856.
In the fight, not the fucking round, my
Oh,
friend.
I said round?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a mistake. I know Jamal was like, what the fuck?
I'm like, bro, what?
Shout out to Hardin. I went there yesterday. We got to go today. Let me hit up, actually. I went yesterday, yo. The pickup was legit.
Yo, that's like, I feel like Lil Baby got a song, and instead of saying
Yo,
like,
why you still got him on screen
that's
and
your
shit?
fault, champ. Instead of saying 40,000 feet in the air,
Mhm.
he said 40,000 miles. I'm like, damn, how you do that? But yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yo, that shit was like, woo. It came back to me.
Mm.
It came back. It went over, but it was like a boomerang. Australia shit.
Took you a while, that's all.
You there, champ?
There we go. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, yeah. You freezing up a bit, though.
Yeah, I'm here. Can y'all hear me?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I see. There we go.
I was gonna ask you, did you see the back and
There
forth
we
between
go,
the
y'all.
two champs, Teofimo Lopez and Terrence Bud Crawford on Twitter?
I just seen a little bit. Somebody sent me. I didn't see the whole thing though.
I mean,
They was getting at each other a little.
yeah, just to the gist of it. Obviously, Tio has been very vocal since his Josh Taylor fight that he wants to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. We just never really believed him, but he keeps saying it. And then him and Crawford went at it on Twitter. He's done some interviews too where he kind of took shots at Crawford's resume, saying that Crawford might have fought guys that were handicapped. You know, and he just believes he could beat Crawford. Tio did beat Lomachenko, the number one fighter in his division at the time, and won a lineal belt. Then he moved up to 40, beat Josh Taylor, the former undisputed and number one fighter at the time, and got another lineal belt. Do you see him being able to compete in the welterweight division?
I mean, if he talking like he can, then let's see. You know what I mean?
That's what I
You
said.
know, you get a man what he want. You know what I'm saying? If it makes sense business wise, again, it seemed like he got a big enough name and following. I would think that people would want to see that fight. So if you want to move up and hop up in here, then let's see what's up.
How do you think he does with Crawford? Does he strike you as a generational talent that can keep moving up divisions, picking off the number one in each division?
I don't know. I don't know. This will be the test, I think. Him coming up to welterweight and getting down. I think this will be the test. I think he definitely got some skill. He ain't no pushover, nothing like that. But it is different moving up into different weights like that. So I don't see him beating Terrence personally, but you know, only
Some
one way to find
people,
out.
some people don't want the Earl Spence rematch immediate. They feel Earl needs to go a different direction before challenging Terrence again. What's your thoughts, and would you like to be that other direction?
That would be dope. I like to be that other direction. I think, yeah, nothing against Errol, man, but that fight it was kind of a blowout. You know what I mean? Like Terrence was really ready for that, and Terrence did his thing. You know what I mean? So
Where
I would have to agree with the fans saying maybe you should have a pre-fight before you ask for that again
what were your
instead of jumping
thoughts?
right in.
What were your thoughts going into that fight? And then obviously, what were your thoughts after the fight played out?
I was leaning towards Crawford a little bit more because Crawford is a little bit more dimensional to me than Spence. But I did not think that he would stop Spence, to be honest. And that's what was like, oh, that was a shocker to me. He stopped him, and he did it in fashion too. So I got to tip my hat to him for that.
He like beat his ass. It
Do
was
you
no. That's why I wanted your thoughts because like I'm in the gym. I'm not a fighter, but I've said it and I continue to say it. And I tell Bomac this. I say only the team can say they expected that. I feel like anybody else, you cap, because that was the best performance of his career.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he just made him look like he had no business in the ring with him.
yeah.
since
That was
then though,
artistic.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that was artistic, man. He really broke out the sweet science and the art on him. And he was 100%, 110% ready.
Since then, there's been some excuses made by Earl. Most recently, 48 hours ago, he said he just had cataract surgery. And under that, he posted, "That's why I got hit with so many." No, he said, "Why do you think I got hit with so many jabs and hooks?" You
Man,
know,
there's no excuses in this game. If you knew that, then you still went in there. You still went in there to fight. You know what I mean? That's why I don't try to make excuses for my stuff. I could tell y'all a bunch of reasons why I didn't perform 100% in a lot of these fights, but what that mean? I still got in there to fight. I knew I had to fight. So if that's how I'm feeling that day, then I gotta adjust, and I gotta figure it out. I'm not going. Otherwise, you do a disservice to the fans when you're like, oh, well, I would have did it if I didn't have this done, or I would have did it if I didn't hurt my pinky a week before the thing. And I mean, it's real. Cats get injured, you know what I'm saying? But if it's that bad, then maybe you should think about pushing the fight back. You know what I mean? Because that's a big fight. That was a really really big fight. So if you think it's gonna affect you to that level, then you should have pushed the fight back. That's just my personal opinion. But if you ain't, then just in my personal opinion, just don't use it as an excuse.
How does your 35 feel to you, right? People look at Crawford and say, man, he's 36. By the time Tio gets a hand on him, end of this year, he'll be 37. But we just seen Crawford put up the best performance of his life. Like, he's never looked that great.
Yeah. Nah, man,
What's
30s the new 20s, baby. You know what I mean? I
Mm.
still feel good. Again, I still feel in my prime. The only thing I notice slightly is that if I do get a little injury, it takes slightly longer to heal up from it. But I don't really get injured too much, so I don't really have too big problems with that. Uh, and you just got to listen to your body. But we at this level, we're professional athletes, so we training all the time. You got to put the right stuff in your body, and you got to do your rest and repair. And I'm feeling good, you know what I mean? So uh, I think he'll be fine. I think he's still in his prime as well.
If it's up to you, how many times do we see you in the ring this year?
If it's up to me, I would like to be in the ring, 2, 3 times this year, depending on the level of the fight, who it is. Um, I understand maybe the way they do it is slightly different than it was from back in the day. They cats be having longer breaks between fights, but that can make a person real stale sometimes. It's better to be a little bit more active. You know,
Have you ever made the phone call and said you're willing to take less to stay active? Because it's like, obviously, it's
I've
always
I've
going to
I've
be the
thought about
pay.
it. Yeah, I've thought about that. But I never made that phone call because at the end of the day, we doing this for business, right? We doing this to support our families and stuff. So anytime you get in the ring, no matter who it is, you're always taking a risk. So if I went in there thinking like, oh, I'm gonna scrape this dude, you just get the cobwebs off real quick, get the rust off. But you mess around, go in there, and just get caught with something stupid. Cat might have had a lucky shot or something. Or sometimes cats fight dirty, ref don't see it, and then you can injure something that'll put you out for something that they were building. So even if you did go in there and scrape somebody, now you done messed your hand up because boy got a hard head or something. You done hurt your hand, and now you got to sit down for another 6 8 months until your hand heal because it takes a long time for your hands to heal when you hurt it bad. So uh, to me, I've always just been like I'll just stay in the gym, uh, maybe travel and get some sparring, to get the rust off that way. But I'm not going to sacrifice my level of ranking or like where I'm at just so I could be like, oh, let me stay busy because that's happened to cats. I've seen that happen to cats. They'll take like a stay busy fight with a lesser opponent and then mess around and get beat or they don't look good, and now you push this no name cat up the rankings and now he ahead of you.
Absolutely. Um, Man, I had a follow up question that is escaping me right now. Lord.
So, just out of curiosity, you're saying 2, 3 times this year. Have you heard anything
That was it.
in
You mind me
terms?
jumping
Go
in?
ahead, go ahead.
This was it. We've seen a few PBC guys: Jared Hurd, J- Julian Williams, Mark Maxiago, Vito Minelecki, all take off TV, off PBC fights. They all got wins. Would you consider something like that? I mean, at the end of the day, you are the business. Investing in yourself to get a tune-up fight that, may not be on TV just so that you are at 100% in case they do throw a boots at you. Obviously, you 35, he's 26. He's the future, so they're going to try and serve you up. You got to be on point, healthy, and able to take these title shots whenever they come.
Hmm. So you asking what I take off TV fight?
Yeah, some of your, obviously
Yeah,
contemporaries
yeah.
have been doing this in the last quarter.
If it makes business sense again, because this is a business, you know what I'm saying. So, uh, if the money was right, and if it's not, if I feel like it wouldn't hurt future business, because yeah, it is good to get that rust off, especially if you're preparing for a bigger opponent in the long run. But I think to me, I think there's ways to do that without having uh, to risk it competitively as far as on your record, if that makes
Hmm.
any sense.
For
So,
sure.
like I said, maybe I'll go to Vegas or something and just get in there with somebody, if they're willing to get in there with me and get in there with some of these names and we get some good work in real quick and
Oh
some
yeah.
sparring or something. Get the rust off like that, make some, and then you can make some relationships with some of these cats if they're higher weights or lower weights or whatever. Work with them and see what's going on. And I think that I could feel like I get the rust off that way. Feel confident about myself and then get in there, for a title fight. Um, and I feel like that's a better way. But it's fine, if cats want to get in there on some off TV stuff and they want to, because it's all a risk anyway. Anytime you get in there, because even if you're going in there to spar, you can still get injured in sparring. So
Hmm.
it's all a risk anyway. But if they want to do it that way, that's fine. But my opinion is what I just said.
Um, have you been updated on the new schedule? Do you know when you guys will be actually getting to fight?
They're working on some stuff now. I don't have no exact dates, but I know they're trying to get me in there pretty soon here. As soon as I know, I'm sure y'all know, and if I know before you, y'all might know before me. But if I know before y'all know, I'll let y'all know. You know what I mean? What they thinking. But they just was like, get ready. We trying to find some dates and the right opponent and stuff. So that's what I've been on.
Jamal, do you ever weigh yourself on fight night?
Uh, Not really, unless you fight in a state where you have to. Not really.
California.
Yeah.
Have you fought in Cali? I mean, obviously,
Yeah, yeah, I fought Cali before. Yeah, I fought Cali a couple times.
what you rehydrate to?
I think what was it? It was like, I think I had like 6 pounds, 7 pounds I rehydrated too.
That's it? Damn.
Yeah, yeah. I be walking
Damn.
around, I got a fast metabolism, man. I be trying to tell people, man, I know I'm tall, but I mean, now, that was like a couple years ago too, you know what I mean? So now I might be a little bigger, but I fought a cat one time, Omatoso. Omatoso was fight. When I fought him, the next day he was like 15 pounds heavier. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? I was like, damn, you got
that's why I
50, a whole
asked.
nother weight class. Yeah.
That's why I
Now
asked. I don't
cats
know
be
if
blowing up. Yeah,
that
cats be blowing up the next day, but sometimes that's not necessarily good because it can make you very lethargic. You know what
sluggish
I
for
mean?
sure.
Yeah, make you sluggish. Yeah, you might be having that extra weight and hit harder, but you slower now, and you ain't as sharp because now your body's trying to digest all that shit you don't put back into it. So it's good. It's good to come up a little bit, but you don't want to come up too much, thinking that you looking for the knockout type of stuff.
What are your thoughts on Devin Haney moving from 135 in his first fight to fight Regis Prograis at 40, and on fight night he weighed 165?
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Yeah, what the? I don't even know how. I don't even know. I be wondering, like, what are these cats eating? How are they dehydrated? No, for real. I'd be like, damn, how? It's like, how, dude?
His name is James
Y'all got the
Lockwood. That's how.
y'all got the IVs, or yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Yeah,
So
no, they. So It wasn't our interview. I think it was the one he did with Errol Hawani. He said that a gallon of water is about 8 pounds.
Mm.
Of you drinking a gallon of water, put on about 8 pounds, or maybe that's his case or something like that. So he's like, shit, I just drink a lot of water. I guess it was all water weight. I ain't eating no 25 pounds worth of food. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I'm saying like you ain't pissing every 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Like you know, because that's how I try to rehydrate too. I drink the water down. You got to get your electrolytes back. But you know, I'm also in the bathroom. You know, pissing every 5 seconds. So I
Right.
just gotta. I might drink more than a gallon because I'm trying to keep the water on. You know, but you know, everybody's body is different too. So
Um, would you? And I know you're gonna say yes to it, but hey, got to do it anyway. Would you consider Rashidi Ellis?
yep.
Did you think he won or lost that Villa fight?
I'll be honest. I didn't watch the whole fight. I gotta watch it again.
Mm.
To be honest, you know, so I don't want to comment on it because I didn't see the whole thing.
All right. Well, champ, that's all the questions, man. We do appreciate you. If you can, please give out your social media. Thank you for jumping on spontaneously.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. Check me out, Jamal Shango James. About to start posting a lot more. We got stuff coming up, so y'all can see what I'm doing. Jamal Shango James, Facebook, Instagram, and I'll holler at y'all next time.
Appreciate it,
my
champ.
guy. Yes,
Thank you for
sir.
coming on. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. PBC welterweight Jamal James.
Family, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get to that 1,000,000 subscribers. We're on the road to 1,000,000. And obviously, we have other great content on our Patreon channel. So since this video is over, head on over to our Patreon and check out all the exclusive content or right here on our YouTube members.